where we will be beginning long division with 2-digit dividends. So my actual example today is a 3-digit dividend because the 2-digit dividends are just so freaking easy, which is fine. What I want to do is I want to re-emphasize the steps of long division. Now, having said that, for those of you that are really struggling with long division, I did too. I had to stay in for recess for like a long time, up at the board working, doing long division before I got the steps. And the secret to getting it is repeating and repeating and repeating and doing it over and over and over again. However, having said that, I also want to assure you that I also have another way of long division, which is called partial quotients. That if you're really struggling with long division, there is an option. So in another video, I'm going to cover partial quotients method, which some of you will absolutely love because it's really super cool. However, long division has been done for eons. Your parents know how to do it. Lots of people know how to do it. I have a couple tricks that will help you. There are a lot of steps, and that's what screw up most people. Now, in order to help you with the steps, I have a little mnemonic, which is a fancy word of saying a silly rhyme to help you remember the steps. And the rhyme is, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? And what that does is it gives you the first letter of each step. DMSCBR. And so it looks like this. See, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? Now there's lots of mnemonics, and this one might be a little bit different, but I like this one because it gives you all the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, check is a step that isn't covered in some of the mnemonics, and repeat. So using this, if you are really struggling with long division, I like to put this down the side of my paper and check each time I do a step so that I don't forget. So the first step, and you see, here is my example. I'm using a division box. The number inside my box is called the dividend. The number outside the box is called the divisor. And my goal here is to get a correct quotient or answer to my division problem. So my first step is I look at my divisor and I divide. How many times does 3, and you start with the first digit. How many times does 3 go into 6? Oh, well, it goes in twice. Now, if you struggle with your times tables, another thing you can do with your 1-digit divisor is before you start dividing, write your 3 times table down here so that you know. But for those of us that know our times tables, we don't have to do that. 3 goes into 6 twice. So we put the 2 up here on top of the 6. Where you put it is extremely important. Just trust me on this. Very important. Keep it neat, put it in its proper place, and you will never have a division problem with that. Our next step is, and for those of you that are checking your steps, you just put a little check mark there. Next step, multiply. 3 times 2. Well, that's 6. Done it. Next step is to subtract. 6 take away 6 is 0. Subtract. Now this check, let's spend a moment. What is checking? What are we checking for? We're checking that what's left over for our subtraction is less than our dividend. If it isn't less than, if it is equal to or more than, then we've got a problem with our quotient. We didn't take enough, big enough bite out of our dividend. So if it's less than, that means you can keep going to the next step, which is to bring down the next digit out of the dividend. Then finally, we repeat. That means we go all the way back up to our divide and we do it again. And we do it as many times until we get to the step of check where it's smaller, and when we go to bring down, there's nothing left. That means we're done. So I'll show you what I mean. How many times does 3 go into 9? It goes 3 times, so we put our 3 up on top of the 9. Then we multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract. We bring down. Now, another thing I like to do that keeps me organized is, you see my long arrows? That helps me when I have a long dividend. That helps me keep track of stuff so that I remember. Another thing sometimes I do is just put a little X up there, but I found my long arrows help me out a lot. So feel free to copy. So then oh, what did I do? Okay, then we repeat. How many times does 3 go into 4? Well, it goes in 1 time. So I put my 1 up here. Then I multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. I subtract 1. I check 1 is less than 3. And I go to bring down and whoa, there's nothing left. Well, that means that is my remainder. Now, historically, boys and girls in 4th grade, I know that you have put your R1 here. Yeah, okay. Well, we're in 5th grade now. No more R's, okay? It means there is 1 left. 3 goes into 694, 231 times, but you have 1 left. So how do we say that without the R? Well, there are different ways, but the way that I like to express it, the 5th grade method, is 231 and 1 out of 3. So I put my remainder on top of my divisor and I have 1/3. Wow, yeah. So there is my division. It's not that bad, especially if you use your checklist. And if you can't remember how to make your checklist, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw will help you with that. So on your assignment, there's only one way to tackle long division and really get it in your brain, and that is practice. I keep saying this, I know, I'm so sorry, but that's the way it is. Now you will receive a note on this, so you will have a good note with all of the steps and an example.